Now, for those of you that don't know, Mortal Kombat is easily my favourite franchise ever made. It is honestly what I live and breathe for in gaming. And some of you may remember a couple of months ago we went through Mortal Kombat 11 getting all of the trophies as well. And that means that today it is time for the next in the Mortal Kombat sequences. Today we are going to be getting the Platinum Trophy in... From beating a convoluted campaign several times, exploring all that there is to explore in the invasion mode, and dealing with some pretty horrendously grindy trophies on the side, it is safe to say, folks, that we have got our work cut out for us today. But before we get into it properly, I think that it is only fair that we hear from today's sponsor. Now, we all love gaming, of course, that's why you're here. Well, what if I told you that a pretty well-known game with over 5 million active users is celebrating 5 years? Of course, it's Raid Shadow Legends, and now is the best time to join. Do you want hundreds of customizable champions, some of the best graphics in mobile gaming, or tons of new features being added every month? Well, it's got that and more. As with Raid celebrating 5 years, if you sign up right now, you can get $50 worth of bonuses including silver, skill tomes, and more totally free. Plus, after downloading via MyLink, use the festive promo code Festival5 to get an epic champion tier L. Now, Raid has just got tons of exciting features, many of them having been implemented in the last year. The most recent additions like the live arena, the cursed city, and mythical champions who can transform between two forms. I like Mezamel Lupafang because look at her. This month offers even more opportunities to come out on top, so what is stopping you? Go download it today from the QR code on screen or the link down below. Once downloaded, come find me under the name Son of Jazzy, join my clan Chivo Grinders, and we'll be legends together. For the Platinum in Mortal Kombat 1, we are going to have to shed many buckets of blood, sweat, and tears, so let's waste no time and get straight into it. Welcome to the Achievement Grind. Our very first step, of course, is the tutorial. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 is a hell of a shift from 11. The movement and gameplay is faster, combos are back and better than ever, and of course the new cameo system as well, which allows you to call in backup attacks from a separate character being the most important changes. The tutorial just refreshes my instincts and gets me ready to the new changes. Nothing too impressive as you may imagine, which means 10 minutes later we complete the objective and unlock our first trophy with Become a Ninja in no time. It's time to get straight into the story. And this being Mortal Kombat, of course, as well, folks, I apologise, but I am going to have to censor quite a bit. YouTube, of course, hate this game, and I need to play by their rules, so apologies in advance. And to be honest, I do need to give you a little bit of context on the story, because the timeline of these Mortal Kombat games are an absolute mess. So this game is a soft reboot continuation from Mortal Kombat 11. In Liu Kang's new universe, quite a lot has changed, including the lore of a lot of the characters. So, for example, instead of being rivals, now Sub-Zero and Scorpion are biologically brothers in the same clan. Not only that, but Raiden is in fact a young lad and is still in training, as opposed to Earthrealm's defender. And Johnny Cage is, Johnny Cage really hasn't changed that much. The story begins with Shang Tsung peddling false potions. Now, the end of MK11 saw Fire God Liu Kang defeating Kronika and Shang Tsung taking control of the Hourglass. This is his new era, his reality that he has coloured in with peace and warmth. So it feels wonderful to see Shang Tsung getting called out and publicly harassed. The wondrous feelings don't last long, however, when Kronika makes her reappearance and tries to convince this humble scam merchant that he is destined for more. Shang Tsung accepts with a pretty intense smile. Our first official chapter starts with Kung Lao and Raiden hard at work. After a day's graft, it's off to Madame Bo's for some tea. The tea doesn't last long as you'd imagine, as since we've started the first chapter as Kung Lao, it doesn't take long for us to find a fight, especially since a certain fire god may be watching. During this downtime, Madame Buzz gets attacked by the Lin Kuei, and Smoke wastes no time in beating up the elderly. Kung Lao and Raiden of course stand their ground. Once the enemies have been slain, it is revealed that this was all a setup. Like a good episode of Kitchen Nightmares, it's fake, and Madame Bo put us both up for this for Liu Kang to see if we were worthy of joining his ranks in defending Earthrealm. Cut to chapter 2 and the beloved Johnny Cage. He is shooting a new film inspired by some form of raider, but he soon gets into a fight with the missus. Johnny Cage's career is failing him, and Cara Delevingne off Wish is not happy and leaves him immediately. Johnny's day only gets from bad to worse though, as Kenshi, a member of the Yakuza, comes to have a word. He is after Sento, his family's sword that Johnny is in possession of. Now, Kenshi may be like a dragon, however we knock his fillings in all the same. Just in time really, as we are then joined by Liu Kang and his followers. It seems that Johnny and Kenshi are his next chosen recruits. Without much choice, Johnny and Kenshi join their ranks and and it is finally time to train for the Mortal Kombat tournament. Liu Kang hosts a small mini tournament, if you will, with all of the new recruits, and it appears that Raiden is the best among them, so Liu Kang immediately chooses him as his special little soldier. As a reward, he is gifted his amulet, which then enhances Raiden a touch more than he was probably expecting. Slowly but surely, everybody is becoming their normal powerful selves again, and honestly, I'm glad, as tournament day has finally arrived. The crew head on over to Outworld, meeting Katana, Melina, and Tanya, and of course, we treat them with kindness and respect. I don't know about you, but I'd just start barking. But it's time for the tournament to start. In this universe, the tournament is more of an Olympic sport, rather than a life or death fight. And once a year, the realms gather to celebrate its champions and test their might. The usual. As Raiden with our new powers, we soon power through the competition, finally reaching our last fight with the newly honoured General Shao, who also succumbs to the lightning, rather easily actually. With that, Earthrealm have once again won the tournament. Sindel, the Queen of Outworld, congratulates us on our victory. The next shot, however, sees Liu Kang summon an old friend, or enemy technically. Geras is back, and Liu Kang trusts him to protect the hourglass, but Geras comes with surprising news that Shang Tsung can't be trusted. I know, who'd have thought? But Liu Kang is worried, as you would imagine. So worried in fact that Liu Kang decides to investigate. By that, Kenshi, Johnny and Kung Lao go to kidnap him and bring him back to Liu for questioning. Nothing can go wrong there, can it? On the journey, we briefly meet Baraka, who then tells us the tale of Tarkat, which him and his people are afflicted by. Baraka despises Shang Tsung and knows where his lair is, so he joins our quest. Inside his base, we see something troubling. Shang Tsung, Rain and Tanya are all around a sleeping Melina, so we decide to stop this before anything weird happens. Yes, of course some scrapping then ensues. It turns out that Shang Tsung wasn't actually being a naughty boy though. He was in fact trying to help Melina, who has contracted Tarkat, and her transformation is about to begin. But the cat's out of the bag now, or more teeth out of the face. No, that doesn't work. But my point is Melina freaky. Her feral nature gets the better of all three of them, and it costs Kenshi greatly. Yeah, that's a bad day if ever I've seen it. Oh damn, sorry Kenshi, I didn't mean seen it like that. I more meant that you just didn't see that coming. Oh god. Shang Tsung cures Melina for the time being, however he still spins lies that we were here to out her disease, so we're all briskly taken away. It's clear from the conversation afterwards with the evil gang that Kronika has a plan and a war needs to happen. The good crew then wake up in the flesh pits and things seem over, until a friendly little lizard boy who has been forced to work in these pits decides that he's had enough and helps us break free. It's a close fight, but we do eventually escape. You'll be amazed to know that only moments later though, we find a new friend, Ashra, a demon trying to rid her body of the evil, killing those who deserve it as her absolution grows nearer. She joins our team of course as well. Just in time though, as we then spy something evil a brewing. Nitara, Quan Chi and Havoc are performing a ceremony, and we're introduced to the biggest villain in the entire Mortal Kombat franchise, Megan Fox's voice acting.
That blade's enchanted.
It was forged to destroy evil. It's slain many of your vampire kind.
We can't help what we are. That we feed on blood doesn't make us evil.
Fight.
Oh no, it's bad. It's bad.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Beatdowns take place, but I am so happy that they are over, as Quan Chi's spell has finished, and it has created my favourite. I smell it. Now that's not a bad point. It could be Ermac. That'd be sick. Ermac's my favourite character ever made. If it's Ermac, I'm gonna have to go and take a quick 5-minute break. It's Ermac! Oh, okay. Yes, I fangirled the hell out of Ermac, and I don't care in the slightest. He is back and seems to immediately know how much strength he possesses, as he starts to beat everybody into the mud. However, Ermac isn't the only one who knows a thing about souls. With Sento in hand, Kenshi stabs Ermac, and the sword steals some of the souls, finally making Kenshi the person we know and expect. With Kenshi at full power and Ashra by his side, we finally defeat Ermac, who appears to, when weaker, lose control of his souls. Now, unfortunately, no matter how cool Ermac and Quan Chi are, they are both a huge problem with the game. As you can tell by their movesets that they were just completely not finished by the time this game released. Which is weird considering that both of them were announced as DLC before the game had even come out. So I think it's pretty obvious that both of them were meant to be base roster. However, time pushbacks or whatever the case causes them to be DLC instead. And I feel like that's a little bit cheap. They both absolutely deserve to be in the base game. But since they're nowhere near finished, it means the fights against them are quite boring. The next chapter has us try and find the Dragon Army with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They get captured because of course they do, and drop something that shatters Scorpion's world. Sub-Zero, his brother, killed his dad. This, as you would imagine, causes the two brothers to have a bit of a falling out. Harsh, I know, but hey, these are sensitive people we're dealing with. As Scorpion, now we escape once again, and even give Havoc his more recognizable lack of face on the way out. Also, by defeating General Shao again, we finally unlock our next trophy. It took far too long, but we have officially completed half of the story now, and with that unlock a new timeline. With alliances made, the team of the good guys go to take out the team of the bad guys. You know, as you would do. And to be honest, this section is pretty amazing to watch. NetherRealm have always been really good when it comes to the story and cinematics, and well, I just need to show you why.
No, we fight together.
Oh, poor Tanya, she really thought she cooked there. However, beating Ermac a second time reveals something. Jared's soul is within him. Jared is Sindel's husband and Melina and Katana's dad, and knocking out Ermac has allowed Jared to emerge and take control of him. A nice twist, not bad at all. However, the nice moments can't last even with Jermac on our side. We find Shang Tsung once more, but this time we defeat him. With Shang Tsung on his uppers, we demand to find the person controlling him. We want Kronika, and right on cue, she arrives. Or does she, as Shang Tsung refers to his helper's name as Damashi. Now this absolutely blew my mind. For those of you that don't know, in Mortal Kombat Deception, the entire story revolves around Sujinko doing favors for an elder god called Damashi. Now Damashi in fact turns out to be Onaga. So when Damashi was name dropped, I was so excited that we were about to see the return of the Dragon King.
Liu Kang, meet Damashi.
Damashi?
Damashi?
Oh, Onaga. Onaga.
You are the victim of deception, sorcerer.
Yep, not Onaga. It's Shang Tsung again. But the Mortal Kombat 11's version of Shang Tsung, which just makes this needlessly complicated, and I was honestly heartbroken. I thought we were going to get Onaga again, never mind. But Shang Tsung's evil plan is that he wants to kill everybody in this timeline and then merge it with his own. For some reason, sure, whatever. It gets hilariously complicated again though, friends, as with this Shang Tsung's return, he also brings a collection of other versions of fighters to battle alongside him. The only thing of note here is that the good Sindel dies. It's tragic, but it is what it is. Rip Bozo, at least with that, Melina is now officially the Empress, so that's nice. The end has arrived though, folks, as Shang Tsung now has the Dragon Army, a collection of baddies from other timelines, and all of the souls that he needs to wreak havoc. So with no other choice, Liu Kang takes his powers back as the Keeper of Time and then evens the playing field by going across the timelines, getting as much help as he can. The final fight is here, and honest to God, this is kind of amazing. For the final fight, it is actually Armageddon, and we get to choose exactly who we want to fight for our final chapter. Now, after a lot of thinking, I decided to go for Natara, as I was expecting her to be my main in this game because I just love her character. With Natara chosen, we see that Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are at the top of this rather familiar pyramid, and summon their forces to fight. And trust me folks, fight we do. This entire chapter is fantastic, it really is. Nostalgia for Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the ability to choose your final character, and some pretty incredible cutscenes that we expect from the series. All we have to do now is fight to the top, so we just do that. And in a fantastic move, NetherRealm made every single fight on the way up a hybrid fight, where we fight one character with powers from another, like Sub-Zero Natara, Katana Khan. Honestly, some of these combos are amazing. But we eventually reach the top and go to take on the Deadly Alliance. Honestly, the fight is hilariously easy, and within a couple of minutes they are down for the count. Liu Kang wastes no time in Thanos snapping them out of existence. Again. And then he returns everybody to their appropriate timeline. And that's the story. story. The game ends with tea and friendship. However, the final shot shows us a new and godly version of Havoc, saying that when this happens again, Chaos will win. It's finally time for 2 more trophies though, folks, as for watching the credits through to the end, not like I had a choice, but we unlocked Thanks for Being a Fan. And for finishing the story mode, we of course unlocked What Just Happened. With the story out of the way, folks, we still have a lot of work to do, and the next chapter of this grind is the online trophies. We quickly spend half an hour learning some basic stuff with Natara before moving straight into the online fighting, and you'll be thankful to know that we soon started unlocking trophies at a wonderful rate. So let's go through some of them quickly now. The first was dead simple, simply change our character card. Once we update it with our Queen Natara, we unlock Witness Me. The next unlocked was for dealing 10,000 damage altogether. Now the story had given us a huge boost to this, but now online for the first time the damage started to roll in, and eventually we unlocked Titan for the 10,000 damage. Soon followed by the next trophy, again which was number related. This time we just have to spill 5,000 pints of blood again, something that we've done throughout many of the games, so it didn't take us long at all to unlock Beaten and Broken. Total Disrespect is for completing a full taunt in an online mode. Simple in premise, however unlocking this without being shunned as a ball bag was going to be tricky. Luckily we eventually got a teabagging Baraka, so when we return the taunt, the trophy is ours. With this fight over, that was also our 5th Combat League set in total, and for completing it we also unlocked Contender. After brushing up in practice mode a little bit more with Natara, we also apparently spent an hour in there, and that is also another trophy, as we also unlocked Eye of the Tiger. By this time as well, we had started leveling up our characters, unlocking brutalities and outfits, which was awesome and just made me want to play more. So let's. The next trophy would be the hardest test so far, as we have to dethrone a king. Now it doesn't sound too difficult, however waiting 20 odd minutes for your turn only to lose in seconds absolutely sucks. So we would have to wait for the perfect fight, and our perfect fight was the very first one, as we found a King of the Throne that was totally AFK. It may have been cheap, but we'll take it all of the same, as with the win we unlock Kingslayer. For now though, that is the end of online. However, we're not done with the trophies. We also unlock Working Overtime for completing a weekly challenge, and then seconds later Questmaster for completing 3 daily challenges. Easy work. Time for a quick cleanup of the story. Now for some reason there is another trophy for completing the final chapter of the story again. Fine by me. We throw ourselves through it now knowing what we're doing with Natara, and once completed again we unlock Who Was That. For the next trophy we once again return to the Towers of Time. For those of you that don't know, these are just back-to-back fights of varying difficulty. Nothing too complicated, however we need to beat the towers 5 times with 5 different characters, so we got to work. Also deciding that making friends is easy would be another great one to go for here, as it has us fight 10 different fights with 10 different cameos. And we must have done well, as this unlocked for us during our first tower. It took roughly an hour, but it was also nice to test some new characters along the way. When we finished our 5th tower with Katana, Puppet Master unlocked. With that, Invasion mode is next. Now, Invasion is the brand new mode introduced into Mortal Kombat 1, which sees your character play across like a board game of tiles. Each tile represents a different fight or struggle to make it further. And folks, Invasion mode absolutely throws trophies at you. Most of the trophies in this game are unlocked in this mode, and you can tell. The only problem with Invasion mode is that it just isn't fun. Like, yeah, fair enough, maybe the first hour or 2 is absolutely fine. However, after that it becomes so repetitive, and everything is so easily defeated in this game mode that it's not really worth much bother. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just begin. Our invasion journey begins in the Johnny Cage mansion, and we start to make our way through this. For defeating the very first person and making it to the house, we unlock ABACABB. In the house then we also meet a returning collector. Around the world you may find and purchase things from him to help in the invasion fights, and for buying our very first item from him we also unlock Take and Deny. Literally seconds later we then completed our 5th invasion fight and also unlocked another trophy with So I Just Kill Stuff. Now in invasion mode you can find things called relics, which allow you to enter the fights with extra powers or buffs, depending on which one you choose. And during a tutorial we use one of the powers for the first time, and as you would expect, unlock ultimate power. But not only that, later we take it to Bob, who can help us upgrade the ones that we've got or craft new ones entirely. For crafting our first talisman we then unlock So Crafty as well. Now a special sort of challenge that you can find within invasion are survival rounds, where you mostly have to hop around the screen avoiding projectiles until you win. Some can be tricky, but for the most part you'll have no bother accidentally completing these as I did. When we mistakenly dominate the first, made it out alive is also ours. Now we've done a decent amount already, however for finally reaching level 2 with our character during invasion as well, doing so cleared a blocked path, and even that grants a trophy with Make Way, I'm Coming through. It has also been a couple of fights since we'd visited Bob, so we go back to recharge our talisman powers, and running on empty unlocks as well. For doing all of these, we'd finally completed the Cage Mansion and moved on to the real invasion mode, as apparently all of that was pretty much just the tutorial. So for clearing it and making our way to the real world, we unlock It Has Begun. Another note of mention in Invasion that every single fight tile has the ability to unlock a secret fight. Sometimes by performing a certain fatality or finishing the fight hitless, we'll present a slightly harder version of that fight with some decent rewards. And we found our fair surprise. With a new fight on our hands, just for finding it, we unlock Found You. Folks, I won't beat around the bush. I think it's best we just quickly sum up the next collection of trophies so that we can then talk about something of substance again, because even I'm getting bored of just reading trophies like this, so let's just go through them quick. Continuing on, we eventually reach our 25th unique encounter and our first ambush encounter. For beating it, we unlock both Adventure Time and Stop Hiding. We also found and equipped our first relic, which is another type of item that you can equip for buffs and such. Putting one on unlocked us Always Accessorize. The next easy trophy we unlocked was for using a talisman 10 times. Doing so a couple of matches later also unlocked us Talismania. At this point, I wanted to start spending some of the currency that I'd been unlocking throughout the game so far. On the shrine, we spent 10,000 coins unlocking Give a Coin, before then buying some new skins and such for the characters. Again, once 10 grand had been spent, Big Spender was also ours. Again, it's back to invasion mode, where the trophies kept flying in at an actually shocking rate. The next was thankfully a decent challenge, I guess, as we had finally reached our first mini invasion boss, an enemy that has more health, more damage, and can tank hits easier. However, again, he wasn't much to deal with, so putting him down unlocked not so big now, are ya? With that, we also reached level 5, unlocking Feeling Stronger, and also equipped 3 different relics in our time, also giving us Collector. The next trophy was for performing 10 different cameo fatalities. Now, they're okay, just a small nod to the classics that the characters did in the older games like Kano's Heart Rip or Jax's Big Boot Finish, but for performing 10 in total, Annihilation is ours as well. Now, earlier we defeated a mini-boss. Well, it's time for our first real boss of the game, and even though it visually looks intense, again, it was easy as anything, and once this stubborn version of Katana bit the dust, who the boss? Unlocked. We soon reached level 10 an hour later, and as you would expect, we got Unstoppable for that, very quickly followed by Where's Blanche for trading an item in the Outworld shop. There is no knowledge that is not power was the next beefy trophy that we unlocked for using 10 consumables throughout Invasion, and Carnage was for performing 10 different brutalities in the game, which was actually a lot of fun going for, because in my mind, ending a fight in a brutality is the best way to end it. By this point, I was so bored of Invasion, and even though we were closer to the end, I wanted a couple more easy trophies out of the way with, so we went back to online for a little bit longer. Experimenting with new characters and cameos, we eventually performed 20 different fatalities throughout the entire game, and for doing so, we became a deadly assassin, before then returning to the Towers of Time for a bit to get 5 more character endings for happy endings. I'm so pleased to say though, folks, that there's only 3 left that we need for now. The next is for reaching level 20, something that just happens over time and is easily enough to do, unlocking Juggernaut, and the one after was for winning 5 Test Your Might encounters, which are another small fun return to the MK universe. But for beating 5, we unlock Test Your Might. The final trophy for now has us beating the big bad boss of the Invasion mode. Now, Invasion works in seasons, and every season you need to fight throughout the realms to make it to the big bad of that month, and we have finally arrived at ours. This season's was Hellfire Scorpion, and honestly, it was one of the easiest fights that I've ever had in Invasions. He went down so quick, and we unlocked Vanquished. There are now only 4 trophies left, folks. However, these 4 would completely kill all of the momentum and the progress that we had made in only 2 days. For buddy system and rolling with my crew, we need to get 1 and 5 cameos to their maximum rank. Bear in mind that so far we had completed the entire campaign, finished Invasion, and did hours of online fights and more, and we haven't even done 1 yet, not even close. So this grind would be something rather special. However, the main problem was the mighty have fallen, which have us beat a Titan battle in Invasion mode. It sucks to say, but when this game came out, this wasn't possible, as Titan battles hadn't been introduced into the game yet, and they weren't up until about a month or 2 later. And in that month or 2 of waiting, a lot happened between me and MK1, and we fell out for quite a while. So for now, we just started the cameo grind. I was already getting close with Serena, so decided to stick her out, and when she was max rank about 3 days later of just playing the hell out of the game, we unlocked Buddy System. But after unlocking this trophy, this is where I realised that honestly, Mortal Kombat 1 isn't a good game. For me to sum it up quickly for you lot, this game is horrendously flawed, and one of the biggest problems with Mortal Kombat 1 is the cameo system. Now, I love the idea, I really do, on paper, and being able to call somebody in to extend combos is such a cool idea, but fundamentally it is so broken, as cameos make it damn near impossible to healthily balance the game. As if a pair are overpowered together, who do you nerf? It just gets tricky. And I wouldn't mind, but every single person online was just using the best characters and the best cameos, and it got so stale and annoying so quickly, as since Natara was fairly weak at the time, I was just getting chewed up every single match. Because certain characters and cameos were just fundamentally broken from the get-go, the only people you faced online played the same characters again and again. I don't think I've ever faced a Tanya or a Rain or a Katana online, but I've faced 10,000 Barakas, Kenshis and Johnny Cages, and since online was so boring, repetitive and just rage-inducing, my other options were just to not play the game, as I've already beaten the story twice and invasion mode is so redundant and boring. There is literally no content in Mortal Kombat 1 if you're not fighting online. So after just a couple of weeks waiting for Titan battles, I just gave up and barely touched this game again. Hell, even when Titan battles came out and were achievable, I didn't care. I mean, I loaded up the game and beat one unlocking the Mighty Have Fallen, but I remembered that I still had to get max rank with 4 cameos, and just the thought of that made me shut the game down, and I honestly barely played this game at all until last week. Last week I was flicking through my trophies and the fact that MK1 still wasn't 100% really started to annoy me. So one day I decided to give it all that I had and go for the final 2 trophies, so that I didn't have to worry about this game ever again. So I got to work. First was the cameos. Now thankfully many months had passed and several cheap ways to farm XP had come out. So we did that and slowly leveled up Goro, Scorpion and Jax to full. The last one that I decided would be the newest DLC edition, Chameleon. So we farmed all day with her, and thankfully it wasn't in vain, as at 1 o'clock in the morning we finally got her fully maxed out and unlocked rolling with my crew. The final trophy was for scoring 5 million points on a single Tower of Time. Again, there was an easy way to cheese the level so that you're insanely overpowered for it. So we just did that, and first try we unlocked high score. Is that good? And finally, the Platinum Completionist. Folks, the journey is finally over, and honestly, I am heartbroken. As I said at the start, the Mortal Kombat franchise is easily my favourite of all time, and that will probably never change. However, Mortal Kombat 1 has to be the biggest disappointment I have ever had in gaming. This entire experience just left a really bad taste in my mouth. But let's get to it properly, as for now, the grind is thankfully over. Oh god, Mortal Kombat 1. Honestly, it has a lot of good going for it, don't get me wrong. The story is fine, I guess. I mean, I am so bored of the timeline shite in it, I really am. And because this game was kind of the reinvention of so many 3D era characters, I so thought we were going to get the return of a 3D era boss as well. Like Onaga, Blaze, hell, I would have even taken Moloch at this rate. The mechanics, the movement, and the characters are, however, incredible. This is easily the best roster ever in a Mortal Kombat game, even with 0 new characters. And this game is absolutely stunning. The graphics are breathtaking, the design and the palettes of everything is stunning. They absolutely knocked it out of the park design-wise. However, the positives soon come to an end as you realise that this game is an unfinished, rushed mess. Invasion mode is pointless and the most boring experience I've ever had in a Mortal Kombat game. Hell, MK Deception Chess is better than this. Although, to be fair, MK Deception Chess went hard. The story is fine, as I've said, but once you've done it, you've done it. It's over, and it has little to no replayability either. Also, the customization, the skins, and the monetization from Warner Brothers is absolutely disgusting. Instead of fixing key issues with the game like certain cameos or characters and the stuff that really matters, Warner Brothers would much rather sell you a single fatality for $10 or a single skin for $10 and have hardly any options that you don't pay for. Literally, most of the outfits that you unlock in this game are just palette swapped versions of the base stuff that you've been unlocking since day 1 launch, and that is horrendous. Where are the cool intros and outros that I get to unlock when I put in time with my character of choice? Where are the skins? Where's the hard work? I mean, this game was in development for 4 years at least, and they have got nothing nothing to show for it. Look, I don't want to put a sour note on the end of this video or turn it into a rant of wasted potential. I have now pretty much said all that there is to say. However, let me end by simply summing this up. Mortal Kombat 1 had the potential to be the greatest Mortal Kombat ever made. Oh my god, did it really have that potential. However, both NetherRealm and Warner Brothers fumbled every single possible choice, and now we have a game that is nothing more than an unfinished mess of wasted potential. So, with that, let's get to the stats. For Mortal Kombat 1, technically it took us just over 100 hours to get every single trophy. And I think it's going to come as a surprise to nobody when I give Mortal Kombat 1 a 4 out of 10. I just think this game is nothing more than the absolute most wasted potential I've ever seen in a game. And as a die-hard Mortal Kombat fan, it just completely breaks my heart to give a game such a low score. But I have to be honest, and it isn't a good game. For the difficulty of the trophies, however, I have some good news. Technically, this is the easiest Mortal Kombat to 100%. The hardest achievement for me, and for most people of course, will be rolling with my crew for getting max mastery of 5 cameos. An absolute abhorrent grind, but there are definitely some things you can do to cut that time down. And there we go folks, thank you all so much for watching. I'm kind of sorry the fact that I went on such a rant with this game, but as I said, Mortal Kombat means a lot to me, so if I don't like it, I'm gonna have to say why. However, I still really hope you enjoyed the video all the same. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I have some really amazing content coming up soon, so I hope you will join me in the future for those. And if you are so inclined, feel free to swing by the Twitch as well, where we go for the achievement grinds live. It would be lovely to have you witness my descent into madness, but hopefully I'll see you there. And of course, another massive thank you to all of my amazing Patreon subscribers. I really do appreciate the extra support, folks. I really do. Thank you all so much. And thank you once again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Remember to download the link from the description below, and I will see you on there. And with that, that is it from me today, folks. Thank you all so much for watching again. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you all again in the future. So until then, take care. Bye-bye for now.